Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. I'm here again, ready to help us, well, navigate the really fascinating, sometimes, let's be honest, bewildering world of tech.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're here to try and cut through all that complexity, give you the real story, on the tech that's actually shaping our future.
And today, we're really diving headfirst into something pretty groundbreaking.
Absolutely. The future of Agentic AI.
It's great to have you all joining us again. In our last deep dive, we spent quite a bit of time dissecting, the really critical layers of safety, alignment, and ethics in Agentic AI.
Which was crucial groundwork, I think.
Definitely. So building on that foundation, our focus today pivots to what lies ahead. This whole deep dive is dedicated entirely to the future of Agentic AI. We've framed it as a kind of comprehensive Q&A overview to, guide our exploration.
Okay, so a Q&A. And the mission today is really to unravel the trajectory of this tech, right? Where is it actually going?
Precisely. We're going to explore how Agentic AI isn't just developing in a bubble, but how it's converging with other really groundbreaking fields.
Like robotics, IoT.
Exactly. And we'll also dig into the absolutely critical need for robust governance. As these systems get more common.
We need rules, sensible ones.
We do. And crucially, we'll also shine a light on the vibrant and sometimes surprising career paths that are just starting to open up because of all this.
Which is key for a lot of our listeners, I bet.
Definitely. So to give everyone a clear roadmap for where we're going today, we're going to tackle 14 core questions. These really cut across the most vital aspects of Agentic AI's evolution.
14 questions, okay.
Yeah, we'll lay them all out right now up front, and then we'll just systematically unpack each one.
All right, sounds like a plan. Let's get right into it then. What are the questions?
Okay, here are the 14 questions we'll be exploring today. First, is the development of Agentic AI the path that will finally lead us to artificial general intelligence, or AGI? Second, why is the Agentic Paradigm considered such a promising path towards AGI? Third, what's the reality check here? How far are today's most advanced agents from true AGI? Fourth, looking ahead, Agentic AI won't evolve in a vacuum. So how is it expected to converge with the field of robotics? Fifth, and what will the integration of Agentic AI with the Internet of Things, or IoT, actually look like? Sixth, there's always a lot of hype around quantum computing. How might it impact the future of Agentic AI? Seventh, with the prospect of, potentially millions of autonomous agents in society, what does this mean for regulation? Eighth, building on that, what are some of the key regulatory challenges that really need to be addressed? Ninth, the source material we looked at mentions Canada's role in this area. What has that been? 10th, what kind of career opportunities are actually emerging from the rise of Agentic AI? 11th, for those interested in pursuing a career in this field, what specific roles are mentioned in our source material? 12th, we mentioned an AI ethicist just now. What is the specific function of that role? What do they do? 13th, looking at the frontiers of research, what is neurosymbolic AI and what's its goal? And finally, 14th, as we wrap up this series, what is the ultimate message from this look at the road ahead for Agentic AI?
Okay, that's a comprehensive list. Covers a lot of ground.
It does. So let's dive right into our first question. And it's probably the biggest, most speculative one of all. Is the development of Agentic AI the path that will finally lead us to artificial general intelligence, or AGI?
AGI, yeah, the holy grail, you could say. But, we've seen different AI approaches over the years aiming for it. What makes this agentic approach specifically different or maybe more promising than what we've tried before?
That's a really good point. You're touching on a crucial distinction there. AGI, just to recap for everyone, envisions a machine with the full spectrum of human-like cognitive abilities, understanding, learning, applying intelligence to solve any problem a human can.
Not just specific tasks.
Exactly. It's not just about crunching numbers or, recognizing patterns better than us. And many leading researchers now, they strongly believe that this agentic framework isn't just like a promising avenue. It might be an absolutely essential prerequisite for AGI.
A prerequisite. Wow.
Yeah. The fundamental shift is viewing intelligence not as just being really good at narrow predefined tasks, but as the ability to be an effective autonomous agent, one that can, survive, adapt, achieve a whole wide range of goals within a really complex dynamic.
Unpredictable world.
Exactly. An unpredictable world. This paradigm shift from thinking of AI as a tool that performs tasks to an entity that actually pursues goals. That's what makes it so compelling.
Interesting. So it's about agency, about goal-directed behavior in the world.
Precisely. Which leads us right into our second question. why is the agentic paradigm considered such a promising path towards AGI?
Right. So it's not just about tasks, it's this holistic, goal-oriented thing existing in a complex environment. Can you maybe elaborate a bit more on why that specific approach holds so much promise?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about building smarter tools anymore. It's about shifting AI from being, let's say, a calculator to being more of a doer and maybe fundamentally a thinker in a more human-like sense.
A doer and a thinker.
Right. The core components we've actually talked about in this series, you know, perception, having a robust world model, strategic planning, persistent memory, and crucially, continuous learning. These are increasingly seen as the fundamental building blocks, not just for intelligent behavior, but for general intelligence.
The building blocks of thought, almost.
Kind of, yeah. By designing systems that have to continuously perceive their environment, build and refine these internal models of the world, plan sequences of actions to achieve all sorts of different goals, retain and recall information over time, and learn from their successes and failures. Well, we are, in essence, forcing AI to solve those really deep core problems of cognition.
The hard stuff.
The really hard stuff, yeah. The things that are absolutely essential for achieving true AGI. It pushes us to address the how of thinking, not just the what of individual tasks.
Okay, that makes sense. But we need a reality check, right?
We definitely do.
Well,
Which brings us to question 3. How far are today's most advanced agents really from true AGI?
yeah, because you hear about these incredible advancements, you see the demos, and it's easy to get, swept up in the hype. But you mentioned a vast chasm earlier. What specific fundamental things are missing? What stops today's agents from bridging that gap? What does that chasm actually look like in practice?
It really is a vast chasm. And despite the incredible progress we are seeing, current systems, even the most impressive ones in their specific domains, still show what you could best describe as brittle and narrow intelligence.
Brittle and narrow. Okay.
Yeah, they just lack the deep, nuanced, common sense understanding of the physical world and the social world, too, that humans possess almost effortlessly.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's use a tangible example the source mentioned. An LLM-based agent, a large language model agent, can generate an incredibly detailed step-by-step plan to, say, bake a cake.
Right, I've seen things like that.
It can list all the ingredients, describe the mixing process, even suggest baking times and temperatures. But here's the critical difference. It doesn't understand what flour fundamentally is, as a physical substance.
It doesn't know it makes things sticky or dusty.
Exactly. Or what an oven does beyond just heating things. It doesn't grasp the physics or the chemistry. And maybe more importantly, it doesn't understand why a human might actually derive pleasure or sustenance or social connection from eating that cake.
Ah, okay. That deeper why and how is missing.
Completely missing. That level of intuitive, embodied, sort of causal understanding of the world, plus understanding human values and intentions, that's largely absent. So while Agentic AI gives us a necessary architectural framework, you could think of it as the scaffolding for AGI.
The structure.
The structure, yes. It is almost certainly not sufficient on its own. We will undoubtedly need fundamental breakthroughs, things like common sense reasoning, deep causal understanding, maybe even aspects of conscious experience. Things far beyond just scaling up current models bigger and bigger.
So it's a key piece, a necessary piece, but definitely not the whole puzzle yet.
Absolutely not the whole, a foundational piece, maybe.
Okay. Let's move from the abstract to something more tangible. Question 4. Looking ahead, Agentic AI won't evolve in isolation. How is it expected to converge with the field of robotics?
Ah, yes. Robotics.
This sounds like where things get really, sci-fi almost, but becoming real. Robots that aren't just programmed for one repetitive factory task, but that can genuinely think and act intelligently in the physical world. What kind of new capabilities does this convergence unlock?
You're right. It feels like sci-fi becoming reality. And it's probably the most natural and impactful partnership you can imagine. You can really think of Agentic AI providing the mind.
And the robot provides the body.
Exactly. The mind and the body. This convergence is precisely what's going to enable a new generation of truly autonomous robots. We're moving way beyond those industrial factory arms, just repeating one motion sequence over and over.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Imagine, say, humanoid robots, equipped with these advanced agentic brains. They could understand a high-level abstract command like, clean up this workshop, or maybe assist the patients in this hospital wing.
Not just pick up that specific object.
No, much broader. And then they would autonomously perceive their complex, often messy, unstructured environment, build an internal model of it, formulate a flexible plan, and then meticulously manipulate all sorts of different objects to actually achieve that goal.
Wow.
So it's not just about picking up a specific wrench. It's about identifying any tool, understanding its function, maybe figuring out it belongs in a toolbox, placing it there correctly, navigating around obstacles, maybe even anticipating what a human might need next.
That opens up huge possibilities.
Huge. Autonomous assistance in homes, hospitals, manufacturing, logistics, even hazardous places like disaster sites. It could fundamentally change how we interact with the physical world through technology.
Okay, mind blown slightly. Following that idea of integration everywhere, question 5. What will the integration of agentic AI with the Internet of Things, or IoT, look like?
Right, the IoT connection.
Yeah, I mean, IoT is already massive, right? Billions of connected devices, sensors, generating just immense amounts of data. But it often feels like just raw data, doesn't it? Without a unifying intelligence.
That's exactly it. You've hit on the core challenge and also the opportunity.
So what brain does Agentic AI bring to this digital nervous system, and what kind of autonomous systems might we actually see emerge from that combination?
Well, you used the perfect phrase, digital nervous system for the planet. That's essentially what IoT is creating, with this just unfathomable number of sensors spitting out real-time data from every conceivable corner of our environment.
So much data.
So much. And Agentic AI is really poised to become the brain that doesn't just process this colossal data stream, but actually acts on it, autonomously and intelligently.
So moving beyond dashboards and alerts.
Way beyond. Instead of humans constantly monitoring dashboards and then deciding to issue commands, we'll see multi-agent systems deployed to autonomously manage vast, really complex infrastructures.
Like what, for instance?
Okay, consider this example from the source. An agentic system could manage an entire city's smart grid.
The whole grid.
The whole grid. It would continuously perceive real-time energy demand from millions of IoT meters in homes, businesses, factories. It would then predict future loads based on really complex factors, weather forecasts, maybe big events happening, historical patterns.
Okay.
And then critically, it could autonomously negotiate with millions of connected electric vehicles to optimize their charging times, or maybe adjust smart home energy use slightly, all to balance the grid dynamically and efficiently.
Without a human flipping switches.
Without any direct human intervention. That's the key. It moves us from just monitoring to truly proactive, self-optimizing planetary infrastructure.
That's a huge leap. Okay, let's shift gears again. Question 6 delves into something that often feels really futuristic. There is a lot of hype around quantum computing. How might it impact the future of agentic AI?
Quantum, yes.
It always seems like this breakthrough that's just around the corner, often discussed in very theoretical, abstract terms. But how does something dealing with qubits and superposition connect directly with the practical challenges of designing agentic AI? What specific problems might it actually solve?
Yeah, it's true. It often feels theoretical. And while it's definitely still in its nascent stages, quantum computing really does hold the potential to revolutionize certain very deep, very challenging aspects of agentic AI.
Which aspects?
Well, many of the core computational problems that are central to building highly capable agents, things like finding the absolute optimal plan in an astronomically complex search space, or solving massively intricate optimization problems.
Things that take forever on normal computers.
Exactly. They are currently computationally intractable, even for the most powerful classical supercomputers we have today. They just take too long to solve to be practical for real-time decisions.
Okay. So quantum could speed that up?
Potentially, yes. Significantly. Quantum algorithms, like Grover's algorithm for searching databases exponentially faster, or something called QAOA, the quantum approximate optimization algorithm for tackling combinatorial optimization, they could potentially solve these kinds of problems exponentially faster.
Exponentially. Not just a little bit faster.
Exponentially. And this isn't just about raw speed. It's about breaking through fundamental computational barriers. Barriers that make some of today's most complex agentic planning problems, like, say, optimizing a global logistics network with thousands of vehicles and packages and destinations, fundamentally unsolvable within practical timeframes.
So quantum could make the impossible possible.
In some cases, yes. Imagine a future quantum computer allowing a logistics agent to calculate the truly optimal route for an entire global fleet of thousands of vehicles in, like, seconds. That's utterly impossible today. So it transforms the impossible into the possible, effectively supercharging the very brain of our most advanced agents, enabling levels of efficiency and foresight that are currently unimaginable.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful potential synergy. But All this power, this integration with robotics,
Well,
IoT, it raises huge questions.
it absolutely does.
Which brings us to question 7. With the prospect of millions of autonomous agents operating in society, what does this actually mean for regulation?
Yeah, this is critical.
It touches on the very fabric of society, doesn't it? We're talking
Right.
about autonomous systems making decisions with real-world impact, maybe at massive scale. So how do we ensure this innovation doesn't just outpace our collective ability to manage it safely, ethically? Is the goal mainly to control it, or is it about enabling responsible development?
That question goes right to the heart of it. It means that developing robust governance and thoughtful regulation is not just important. It's an urgent global priority.
Urgent.
Urgent. But the goal, crucially, isn't to stifle the incredible innovation and potential that Agentic AI offers. That would be counterproductive. Instead, it's about creating frameworks, guardrails, if you like, that ensure this innovation proceeds in a way that is profoundly safe, rigorously ethical, and ultimately beneficial for all of humanity.
Guardrails, not roadblocks.
Exactly. It's about designing those guardrails to ensure trust, prevent misuse, and manage risks as these powerful systems become more and more ubiquitous. Without clear guidelines, the risks of unintended consequences, misuse, and just general public distrust, they escalate dramatically.
Okay, so governance is key, which leads directly into question 8. What are some of the key regulatory challenges that need to be addressed?
Right. The specifics.
Yeah, given the unprecedented levels of autonomy and, frankly, the data access these agents will have, where do the practical lines, the legal lines, need to be drawn? What are the biggest hurdles for lawmakers and policymakers trying to regulate something so dynamic, so pervasive? And I guess, is there a risk that if they get it wrong, if they're too stringent, they could accidentally stifle the very innovation we're trying to guide?
Those are all critical considerations, absolutely. The source material highlights 4 primary challenges that policymakers globally are really grappling with right now. First, accountability and liability. This is a big one. When an autonomous agent acting with some degree of independence causes harm, maybe it's a financial agent making a bad trade that loses millions, or a self-driving car causing an accident, figuring out who is legally responsible, well, it becomes a really complex legal challenge.
Because who do you blame? The programmer, the owner, the AI itself.
Exactly. Our current legal frameworks, they were designed for human actions or maybe corporate negligence. They're just ill-equipped to handle this kind of distributed agency of AI.
Yeah.
It probably requires entirely new legal thinking, new precedents.
Okay, that's number 1. What else?
Second, data privacy and surveillance. We touched on IoT data earlier. Agentic systems will likely have access to just unprecedented amounts of data about our lives, our preferences, our movements, our communications, far beyond what even current digital platforms collect.
Which is already a lot.
It is. So this necessitates developing extremely strong regulations. Rules governing data collection, consent, how it's used, how long it's kept. Without these, we seriously risk the emergence of a pervasive surveillance society where basically every aspect of our lives is monitored and analyzed by autonomous entities, maybe without us even fully realizing it or giving explicit consent.
Scary thought. Okay, third.
Third is bias and fairness. This is a huge concern because AI models, including these agentic ones, are often trained on historical data, and that data reflects existing societal biases.
So the AI learns the biases.
It often inherits them, yes, and sometimes even amplifies them. So we need robust mechanisms to audit these systems, certify them perhaps, and continuously monitor them to ensure they are free from harmful biases that could lead to discriminatory outcomes.
Especially in important areas.
Absolutely crucial in high-stakes areas, like hiring decisions, loan applications, criminal justice recommendations, even healthcare diagnoses. Biased algorithms in those areas could perpetuate and even worsen existing inequalities. The goal has to be ensuring these powerful tools promote equity, not entrench discrimination.
Makes sense. And the fourth challenge.
And finally, international coordination. Agentic AI is inherently a global technology. It's developed everywhere. It's deployed across borders.
Can't just regulate it in one country.
Exactly. Unilateral national regulations just risk creating this fragmented landscape. You could even get a race to the bottom on safety standards, with companies seeking out the least regulated environments to operate in.
And security risks, too.
Big time. It complicates managing global security implications. Think about autonomous disinformation campaigns, or even autonomous cyber warfare. So international treaties, shared standards, collaborative governance frameworks, they're absolutely necessary to ensure consistent safety, ethical development, and just general global stability.
Okay, those are 4 massive challenges. Accountability, Privacy, bias, and coordination.
Huge challenges, yes.
Now, question 9 brings it closer to home for some. The source material mentions Canada's role in this area. What has that role been, and maybe what impact has it had globally?
Right, Canada's involvement.
It's encouraging to hear about proactive work in AI governance, especially. So what specific steps has Canada taken to kind of position itself as a leader in this global conversation, and has that influenced the broader discussion at all?
Yeah, Canada's actually taken a pretty significant leadership role, especially in the responsible development and governance side of AI. It was, interestingly, one of the very first countries globally to really recognize both the strategic importance and the ethical challenges of AI.
They saw it coming early.
Relatively early, yes. They launched their national AI strategy, the Pan-Canadian AI strategy, way back in 2017.
2017, that is early.
It is. And this initiative provided substantial funding for AI research institutes, talent development, really fostering a strong domestic AI ecosystem. But beyond just the national efforts, Canada has also played a really crucial advisory and leadership role in key international bodies.
Like what?
Well, a prime example mentioned is its active involvement with the Global Partnership on AI, or GPAI.
GPAI, okay.
Yeah, it's a multi-stakeholder initiative. Governments, industry, academia, civil society, aiming to bridge the gap between theory and practice on AI issues. Through platforms like GPAI, Canada actively contributes to developing ethical guidelines, technical standards, best practices for responsible AI development and deployment, but on a global scale.
So punching above their weight, maybe.
You could say that. This proactive stance really showcases Canada's commitment not just to advancing the tech itself, but also to ensuring it aligns with human values and societal well-being.
Good to hear. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Question 10 focuses on people, on careers. What kind of career opportunities are emerging from the rise of agentic AI?
The jobs question. Always important.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting for a lot of listeners, trying to figure out the evolving tech landscape. This field is clearly creating whole new demands for talent. So beyond maybe the obvious AI research roles, what does this new landscape of opportunities actually look like? Yeah. And are there existing roles that might face disruption or even displacement as agents get more capable?
That's a really important duality you've highlighted there. Agentic AI is definitely creating a whole new landscape of opportunities, and it's inherently interdisciplinary. It requires this unique blend of skills from various domains. It's not just for hardcore machine learning engineers anymore.
Broader than just coding.
Much broader. The source material emphasizes there's a wide range of in-demand career paths emerging now, which reflects just how complex and broad this technology's application is becoming. Now, on the disruption point you raised, while the source material doesn't explicitly detail job displacement, it's kind of an inherent consideration in any major technological shift like this.
Yeah, automation always changes things.
Exactly. As agents take on more autonomous decision-making, more task execution, certainly roles that involve repetitive, rule-based tasks, maybe even some analytical tasks, could definitely evolve or diminish over time. But the focus in our material here is largely on the creation of new roles that require human oversight, ethical reasoning, creative problem solving, and the actual design and maintenance of these complex systems.
So a shift towards higher level skills.
Yeah, a shift towards higher level cognitive roles and much more interdisciplinary collaboration.
Okay, so what are some of those specific roles? That brings us to question 11. For those interested in pursuing a career in this field, what specific roles are mentioned in the source material?
Right, the concrete job titles.
Yeah, for anyone looking to maybe jump into this space, knowing the roles and the skills needed is key. Can you outline some of those job titles that are starting to define this emerging industry, and what does each one kind of contribute?
Absolutely. The source material outlines several key roles that are rapidly gaining prominence. Let's go through them. First, you have the AI agentic engineer. These are really the hands-on builders. They specialize in designing, developing, and deploying these complex agentic systems.
Using tools like LangChain.
Exactly. They leverage advanced frameworks like LangChain, AutoGen, CrewAI. Their focus is on orchestrating multiple AI models so they work together autonomously towards some common goal. Their expertise is vital for bringing agentic theory into actual practice.
Okay, the builders. Who's next?
Then, closely related, we have the robotics engineer with AI focus. As we discussed, robotics is sort of the physical embodiment of agentic AI.
Mind and body again.
Mind and body. So these engineers integrate the sophisticated agentic minds with the physical robot bodies. Their work covers perception, how the robot sees and understands its surroundings, navigation, how it moves intelligently, and manipulation, how it interacts physically with objects. They are literally building the autonomous physical workforce of the future.
Okay. What else?
Then a critically important role, especially given our last deep dive on ethics and safety, the AI ethicist AI safety researcher.
Right, the conscience.
Kind of, yeah. This specialist works directly with the development teams to proactively analyze the ethical implications, the potential safety risks of these autonomous systems. Their primary job is to help design and implement the necessary safeguards, ensuring these powerful techs are developed and deployed responsibly, aligning with human values and societal good.
Essential.
Next.
Next up is machine learning operations, MLOps for agents. MLOps is already super important for standard machine learning models, but for agents, it brings unique challenges.
Well, you need because you're often dealing with fleets of agents, learning agents, out in the real world. So these engineers focus on the specialized needs of deploying, monitoring, and continuously updating these fleets in dynamic production environments. Managing their learning processes, ensuring they stay reliable, scaling their operations securely. It's complex.
Got it. MLOps for agents. One more.
And finally, the product manager, AI systems. This role acts as a really crucial bridge.
Between tech and business.
Exactly. And users, too. These leaders connect the highly technical capabilities of agentic systems with genuine user needs and the overarching business strategy. They guide the development of AI products that are not only valuable and technically sound, but also responsible and market-ready. They ensure the innovation is useful and ethical, not just clever.
Okay, that's a great overview. Agentic engineer, robotics engineer, ethicist safety researcher, MLOps for agents, and the AI product manager.
Those are the key ones highlighted, yes.
You mentioned the AI ethicist specifically there. Let's drill down on that for question 12. What is the specific function of that role? What does an AI ethicist or AI safety researcher actually do day to day? And why is this role becoming so indispensable?
Yeah, it's a role that's getting a lot more attention, and rightly so.
It feels critical, given everything we've discussed about risks and responsibility. It sounds like much more than just, I don't know, a philosophical advisor. What do they practically do when they're working inside a development team? What impact are they trying to have?
You're absolutely right. It's far from just abstract philosophy. An AI ethicist or an AI safety researcher, they collaborate directly and deeply with the AI development teams, ideally right from the very start of a project.
Embedded in the team.
Ideally, yes. Their primary job is to rigorously analyze the ethical implications and potential safety risks that are inherent in these autonomous systems. This involves things like identifying potential biases in the training data, in the algorithms themselves, assessing risks of unintended consequences.
Like the agent achieving its goal, but in a harmful way.
Exactly that, the alignment problem in practice. They also try to understand the broader societal impact if this system gets deployed widely. So, day to day, what might they do? They might conduct ethical reviews of system designs, develop specific metrics for fairness, help implement safety protocols, maybe design red teaming exercises.
Red teaming, like trying to break it.
Yeah, basically trying to anticipate and find vulnerabilities or ways the system could be misused or fail dangerously.
Yeah.
They also help integrate human-in-the-loop mechanisms where needed. Their core objective, really, is to help design and implement those necessary safeguards we talked about.
The guardrails.
The guardrails, exactly. Ensuring the technology is developed responsibly, predictably, and aligns with human values and the broader public good. They are, as you said earlier, kind of the conscience, but also the risk managers, embedded right within the creation process itself.
Fascinating and vital role. Okay, let's pivot now towards the cutting edge of research with question 13. What is neurosymbolic AI, and what is its goal?
Neurosymbolic AI. Yeah, this is a really interesting frontier.
It sounds like it's trying to combine different approaches to AI, maybe ones that were seen as opposing in the past. What exactly is neurosymbolic AI trying to achieve? And how might it help overcome some of those limitations we discussed earlier, like common sense and deeper understanding, that vast chasm?
You've got it exactly right. Neurosymbolic AI is a key and rapidly evolving research area that directly tries to address some of those vast chasm limitations we talked about way back at the beginning. Its core aim is to combine the distinct strengths of two major AI paradigms.
Which are?
On one hand, modern deep learning, which, as we know, excels at pattern recognition, learning subtle correlations from vast amounts of data, handling fuzzy perception-based tasks really well.
Like recognizing images or understanding natural language?
Precisely. And on the other hand, classical symbolic reasoning, which is inherently strong in things like logic, structure, causality, dealing with explicit knowledge, represented as facts and rules.
Okay, so pattern matching meets logic.
That's a great way to put it. Think of it like this. Deep learning is fantastic at recognizing a cat in a photo, but it doesn't necessarily know what a cat is in a logical sense. That it's mammal, typically has fur, needs food, probably shouldn't be put in the washing machine.
Right, the common sense stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Symbolic AI, on the other hand, can represent those kinds of facts and apply logical rules to reason about them. So, neurosymbolic AI seeks to create agents that possess both capabilities.
The best of both worlds.
That's the goal. To have the common sense flexibility and intuitive understanding that neural networks seem to provide through learning patterns, combined with the logical rigor, the explicit knowledge, and the reasoning capabilities of traditional symbolic AI systems. The ultimate goal is to build agents that are more robust, more explainable, and frankly, more truly intelligent. Agents that can reason, learn, and generalize more effectively, especially in complex real-world situations where both pattern recognition and logical consistency are crucial.
So that could be path across the chasm.
It's certainly one of the promising paths being explored. And the source material also flags other critical research frontiers, things like AGI safety and alignment, which we talked about last time, focusing on how we ensure future superintelligence is actually benevolent and controllable. Also, multi-agent collaboration. How do you get lots of agents to learn to work together effectively? And even developmental and evolutionary AI, exploring how agents can learn and evolve capabilities over long periods, maybe more like biological systems do.
Lots of exciting research happening then.
Absolutely. It's a very dynamic field right now.
Okay, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today. Wow. From the huge question of AGI through robotics, IoT, quantum, regulation, careers, specific roles, and cutting-edge research.
It's been a wide-ranging Q&A.
Definitely. So, for our 14th and final question, as we conclude not just this discussion, but our whole series on Agentic AI, what is the ultimate message? What's the big takeaway from this comprehensive look at the road ahead?
Yeah, the final thought.
After this whole journey, defining Agentic AI, its architecture, how it learns, the ethics, and now its future, what's the ultimate takeaway for us, the listeners? What's the big picture that kind of ties all these different threads together? And maybe what should we be mulling over as this technology continues its incredibly rapid evolution?
Okay, the ultimate message. I think it's that Agentic AI represents a paradigm shift of truly historic proportions. It's not just another incremental step forward in computing or software.
Fundamental change.
A fundamental change. The road ahead, as we've seen today, points towards a future of really unprecedented convergence, where Agentic AI doesn't just exist in isolation, but deeply integrates with robotics, with the Internet of Things, potentially with quantum computing and other transformative technologies we haven't even discussed.
Creating incredibly powerful systems.
Exactly. This convergence is poised to create systems of extraordinary power, complexity, and frankly, pervasive impact on nearly every aspect of life. Now, while that tantalizing dream of artificial general intelligence, true AGI, might still remain on a perhaps distant horizon, the agentic path is undeniably taking us closer to more general, more adaptive, more capable forms of intelligence than we've ever had before.
But there's a but.
There is a big but. And this is crucial. This journey is absolutely not merely a technical one, just driven by clever code and bigger algorithms. The profound challenges of governance that we discussed, accountability, privacy, bias, international coordination, and the really deep philosophical questions about agency, about responsibility, about what it even means for a machine to be intelligent. These demand our wisest, our most careful collective consideration.
It's not just for the techies.
Not at all. The future of agentic AI won't simply happen to us. It's going to be actively built by a new generation of engineers, yes, but also scientists, ethicists, policymakers, artists, citizens, people who can navigate both the intricate code and the complex conscience of these emerging digital minds.
So the measure of success isn't just capability.
Absolutely not. The ultimate success of this whole endeavor, I believe, will be measured not just by the sheer level of autonomy we manage to grant our machines, but by our collective wisdom in guiding that autonomy, guiding it toward a future that is genuinely safe, truly equitable, and beneficial for all of humanity. That's the shared responsibility. It's a global challenge, for sure, but also an incredible opportunity.
A powerful closing thought. Collective wisdom is key.
I think so. And that brings us to the end of this really profound deep dive into the future of agentic AI. We've covered so much its potential link to AGI, its inevitable convergence with robotics and IoT, the critical need for thoughtful governance, the exciting new careers and research paths. It really is, as we've discussed, a journey calling for both cutting-edge technical innovation and that deep collective wisdom.
It really has been insightful, this whole series, actually.
We certainly hope you found this entire series on Agentic AI insightful, maybe thought-provoking. We definitely invite you to tune in for our upcoming series. We'll be embarking on some new deep dives, shifting focus slightly to the foundations and applications of the Internet of Things, really exploring that interconnected world all around us.
Looking forward to that one.
Too. Great. And finally, thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive and for your continued engagement with the show. We really do encourage you to subscribe to our channel, Tech, AI, and Beyond, so you stay informed on all our future explorations into the tech shaping our world.
Definitely subscribe. Thanks again for guiding us through this complex topic.
My pleasure. Until next time.